Good morning, everyone. So we're in Doha. We only have a little bit of time here in the city, so we are trying to take in as much as we can, and we're just gonna walk around and see some of the sights.
So we're walking down the promenade. First impressions that it's really clean.
With this many boats in the water and the water is blue, it's kind of amazing.
And there's not a lot of cover. It is 8:42 in the morning and it's currently like 93. So we're trying to do as much as we can outside before it gets too hot and then head off to the airport.
One of the cool things about Qatar right now is that they'll be hosting the World Cup in approximately 49 days.
According to this clock right here.
Yeah, so they have this cool digital hourglass that's counting down the minutes until the World Cup starts. Right now we're in this plaza that has all the flags of the different countries that'll be participating in the games. So even though the World Cup is still 49 days out, it's surprising how much construction is still going on. Like, a lot of things are closed because there's just construction crews probably going at it every single day trying to get ready for the games. So we're walking to the Souq and they have a underground tunnel system, which is so much cooler than above ground.
Yes.
We were wondering why we didn't see anybody above ground except for construction workers, and now it makes so much more sense. So we just made it to the Souq, and so far it's just a maze of shop-lined streets.
Pretty organized though, because they have a map showing where you are and what types of things they're selling.
Yeah, and it seems like they're kind of clustered products in certain areas. Like, there's one little alley that was all perfume. It smelled very interesting. There's something very familiar about this Souq. I just can't quite put my finger on it. All right, so what do you think of the little bit of Qatar that we got to see today?
It's my first time really in the Middle East, so I haven't been able to experience, being in the Souq. It was really interesting. It was really bigger than I thought it would be. There was a lot of interesting smells that were everywhere and a lot of good food, it looked like.
Yeah, the city itself looks very modern. Ton of skyscrapers, really cool looking buildings. The water was really clean. A lot of construction still going on, but I'm sure that'll all be done here pretty soon. But unfortunately, now we have to head to the airport. The nicest security experience I think we've ever had. They were super friendly and there was no line and it was super quick.
I know, it was great. I had to take my picture multiple times. The lady was very patient.
So now we're heading to the lounge.
Yeah, very excited because I'm very hungry.
So we just finished eating in the lounge, got a couple of drinks, definitely getting our money's worth out of this ticket. We transferred Chase points to British Avios and then transferred the Avios to Qatar Airlines, and we're able to get 2 business class seats with a stopover in Doha.
Yeah, pretty good deal.
So now we're just kind of sitting here and killing time until our flight. I thought it'd be interesting to do a kind of look back at some of our favorite things that we did in Asia. So far, we're 1 month into our trip around the world. I guess I should give some background. So we've been planning this honeymoon trip since before we were engaged. We kind of threw out there like, hey, let's do a destination wedding and then let's go on an epic trip around the world for our honeymoon. And I think it started off kind of as a joke or like an aspiration or a dream, and then here we are,
It
right?
worked out.
So we've been planning this officially for the better part of 2022. If you know us, you know that we're very detail oriented. And so the reason why we're calling our vlog Control F Venture is because we're big spreadsheet nerds. And so we have a spreadsheet that breaks out every single day, every single city, country, pretty much to the hour on what we're supposed to do or what we're planning on doing. Okay, so first question for Asia. What was your favorite activity?
I think by far it was canyoneering. That was something that I've never done before, and it was one, the water was so clear. It was a nice weather day. It was really fun kind of jumping through everything, even though it was really high, and I'm semi-afraid of heights, but it was all very fun. It was very organized.
Plus the motorbiking around just to get to canyoneering, that was pretty cool as well. I haven't done that before.
Next up, what was your favorite place that we ate?
Hands down have to be Chiang Mai. Our tour guide for the day when we went to the sticky waterfalls. And so he said he would take us to a place that the locals go. We went to this restaurant in the middle of nowhere. It was actually Michelin rated and it was super cheap, but everything there was just so good. I mean, we had larb.
The Chiang Mai version of larb, so it was a little bit different than kind of the Isan ones that you get in other parts of Thailand.
Yeah, and then like the spicy paste that we dipped vegetables into. How about you? What was your favorite place?
I think it was also in Thailand. It was like a highly rated place. They had this crab curry, and it was really flavorful. And then also the one thing that I really liked was this banana leaf dish, and it was just basically fish with crab, and it was steamed in this banana leaf, and it was just so tender and really flavorful, and just not something I had before.
Yeah, what was nice about that place and those dishes, a lot of the places that we went to, we've kind of been writing down the dishes that we've liked, the ingredients that we've liked, but that restaurant in particular, I don't think we can replicate anything. Like, I don't know where we would find like good crab around us or like good banana leaves to steam food in. Next question, and I think I know what your answer will be for this one. What has been your favorite hotel so far?
So definitely by far, the Sheraton in Cebu. It was spur of the moment thing, and they ended up upgrading us, and we had this massive room, had 2 toilets. I've never been in a hotel with 2 toilets before.
Yeah, and we booked the cheapest room in that place with points, and they upgraded us to a 2-room suite.
Since it was so new, they were very attentive because we're like the only people there.
That place literally opened up the week before we arrived. We were actually worried that they were going to be behind schedule and not have a room for us.
Yeah, so it worked out. It was really nice. Okay, so what has been the most stressful thing to happen to us so far on this trip?
So far, and I don't think we actually recorded this because we were so stressed out, but when we were doing our first move from South Korea to the airport to go to the Philippines, we had to catch the very first metro to the very first train to get to the airport on time. The metro didn't actually leave when we thought it was going to leave, so we ran between stations. We were super sweaty and tired by the time we got to the train, and you were freaking out.
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna make it and we'll be fine, but then like you freaking out freaked me out, and I kept looking at the time like we're not gonna make it, but it all worked out. We ended up getting there like 5 minutes early, sat in the train, looked disgusting, but we stressed out for no reason. It ended up being actually pretty smooth. How about you? What was the most stressful thing?
One of the last days in Phuket, we went scuba diving, and so I was already not feeling really well, and on that day it was really windy, the water was very choppy. Honestly, like, they should have seen us, 2 very novice scuba divers, and decided that, hey, maybe you should sit this one out. But they said, it's fine, you can totally go.
We went first too. We were on like a boat full of people who had dive watches, these fancy cameras, like they were pumped and ready to go.
And then just us.
We were like, are we still going? Are they gonna cancel this? Look at the waves.
And so I got in the water, I was about to go down, the dive guy was like, go down, and I was like, I cannot go down. I can't breathe right now.
Our dive master literally called the boat to us, so like the boat changed course, came to get to us. They threw a rope at us and a buoy and like yanked us in. And as we were getting on board, like my fin fell off. Dude, a guy like literally jumped off the ship to get my fin.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all of our planning, what has not gone according to plan or just epically failed?
I don't know about epically failed, but we were in.
We've gotten pretty lucky, yeah. Like everything's kind of gone according to plan.
In Cebu, we stayed in Moroball, and one of the big attractions there, besides canyoneering, is going on the sardine run, snorkeling or scuba diving with the sardines. And so we booked a scuba diving trip specifically for that. We did go scuba diving. It was just one dive, but we saw 0 sardines.
Yeah, and like it's not just a couple of sardines. Like this is supposed to be a school,
Millions.
like tons of sardines swimming everywhere. And when we're on the dive boat, they were floating around trying to find the sardines and they couldn't find them, which they seemed very confused by this as well,
Yeah,
because where do millions of sardines go, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't just our boat. There's tons of boats just around trying to find them, and for some reason they just disappeared for the day. So that was one thing that did not work out.
Okay, last question. What has been your least favorite dish so far?
So in Saigon, we were really hungry, as we always are, and we were trying to find somewhere quick to eat. And we found this restaurant that had a bunch of people, so we went there and had this crab noodle soup, and in there it had a bit of pork blood. And I've never been a huge fan of pork blood, but I mean, I had to try it, and I thought maybe it had been different. So I took a bite of it, and I really still didn't like it.
I'm actually surprised. I thought you were going to say the pickled crab in South Korea. What do you think?
I mean, it was okay. It was just not what I was expecting. Like the texture was a little interesting. What about you?
The one place I wasn't really a fan of, similar situation. We didn't know what to eat. We were starving, and there's this place next to our hotel in Seoul where there was a ton of just like college-age kids that were eating and drinking, and the place was packed. So we went there. I was kind of excited about getting some authentic Korean food. Ends up the place was kind of like Buffalo Wild Wings. The food was very bar food-ish, and I think people were just there for the cheap drinks instead of the food itself. And so I think I got like chicken nuggets or something. Alrighty, so I think our time here in the lounge is dwindling down. I say that we actually have a little bit of time, but I'm out of drink, so I need to make a quick stop to the bar, and then we're gonna board our plane. Stay tuned. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll keep posting vlogs on here until we get so far behind that we end up just doing pictures.